Real change happens only when you think less and do more. Inspired by Peter Hollins' Think Less, Do More, let's begin. Ravi was a college student who always believed that until everything was perfect, one should not start anything new. He wanted to write a book, but every time he thought, first, I'll buy a good laptop, come up with the perfect idea, and then I'll start. Days passed, but he didn't even write the first page. One day, his professor said, Ravi, if you don't start walking, how will the path reveal itself? This changed the way Ravi thought. The very next day, Ravi started writing in a simple diary. At first, many pages felt like a mess, but each day he learned something new. He realized that making mistakes in the beginning was also a part of the learning process. Slowly, his confidence began to grow. He no longer worried about being perfect. He just wanted to keep moving forward. He learned that instead of waiting for the perfect time, taking imperfect action was far better. And that was his real victory. Lately, Ravi had become a bit lazy. His notes were incomplete. Books in his room were gathering dust. And he kept telling himself, from tomorrow, I'll definitely start studying. But every day was the same story. One morning, he noticed something written on the first page of his old notebook, just 10 minutes. It reminded him of the promise he once made to himself, to study a little every day. That day, Ravi thought, all right, just 10 minutes. As soon as he began reading, it felt like his mind had woken up again. Those 10 minutes slowly turned into an hour. Ravi realized that motivation isn't some magical thing that falls from the sky. It's something you create yourself through action. Now, whenever Ravi felt lazy, he would just take the first step, whether it was reading a single page or going for a 5-minute walk. And every time, the same thing happened. Once he took the first step, the rest of the path revealed itself. He understood that if you want to change something, you don't wait, you just start. Ravi's studies were back on track, but deep in his heart, he had another wish. He wanted to participate in the college's annual speech competition. But the moment he thought about it, fear crept in. What if people laughed at me? What if I forgot my lines on stage? He kept thinking about it for weeks, but every time, he stepped back. Then one day, his teacher said, Ravi, if you always play it safe, how will you learn something new? That night, Ravi asked himself a few questions. Do I really want to do this? Yes. Will I learn something from it? Absolutely. Then what's the point of being afraid? The next day, he registered his name. He prepared, learned from small mistakes, and finally stood on stage. At first, he was nervous, but then he began speaking, and the whole hall echoed with applause. Ravi realized that fear will always be there. But if you take steps thoughtfully, risk becomes real growth. Now Ravi knew, without discomfort, there is no change. Ravi was now focused on improving himself, studying, waking up on time, and learning new things bit by bit. But inside, he had a dream to start his own YouTube channel where he could share study tips and motivation with others. One day, he recorded a video but felt lazy to edit it and then postponed posting it. Gradually, his enthusiasm started fading. Then, one day, he saw an old line in his notes. Normal effort only gives normal results. That one line woke Ravi up. Now Ravi made up his mind. He wouldn't just try, he would give his all. Every day, he created a video, wrote scripts, learned editing, and kept posting consistently. He realized that massive action didn't mean making noise. It meant working on your dream every single day without excuses. Within just a few months, his videos started going viral. Ravi now knew, if the dream is big, the effort has to be bigger. Mediocre attempts only bring regret, but it's massive action that creates magic. Ravi's next goal was to prepare for the toughest exam in college. But the moment he opened his books, an inner voice would say, "You can't do it. It's too hard." Or sometimes, "We'll study tomorrow." A strange resistance would stop his hands every time. He began to feel this was his weakness. But one day, his mentor said, "Ravi, don't see this as your weakness. It's an idle dragon that lives inside everyone." Hearing this, Ravi, for the first time, saw his fear as something separate from himself. Now, whenever laziness or fear tried to stop him, he would smile and say, "There's my lazy dragon again." Sometimes he ignored it, and sometimes he would sit down and ask, "What are you trying to protect me from?" Slowly, he noticed that the more he fought or understood that resistance, the weaker it became. Ravi learned that action was the real answer, not overthinking, not fearing, and not procrastinating. Every day, he took small steps, and with each step, the dragon grew smaller. Ravi was now more hardworking than ever, but distractions still got in his way. Sometimes a friend's message, sometimes a video call, and sometimes just his wandering mind. He thought that if his mind was stronger, he could control it all. But finding motivation every time wasn't easy. One day, he heard in a podcast, "You don't have to be stronger, you just have to be smarter. Make if-then plans." That evening, Ravi wrote in his diary, "If it's 9 p.m., then I will study for 30 minutes." In the next few days, he made small if-then rules for every important task. Like, if my phone rings while studying, then I will put it on silent. Now Ravi didn't have to think every time about what to do. When the moment came, he simply followed his plan. Distractions decreased, consistency increased. Ravi realized that being strong doesn't just mean discipline. The right plan is the greatest weapon. It's not about willpower, it's about having a clear plan. Ravi's schedule was better than before, but still, at the end of the day, he felt like he hadn't done anything meaningful. His to-do list was always long, yet he never managed to complete it. He couldn't figure out where his time was going. One day, in the library, he came across a book that said, "Knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do." That day, Ravi made a new list, a not-to-do list. On it, he wrote, "Don't scroll social media, don't answer every call immediately, don't say yes without reason." In the next few days, Ravi noticed he felt freer and more focused than ever before. He no longer felt guilty when he ignored a distraction because it was already decided. Now, he had more time for his real goals. Ravi learned that success doesn't just come from working, it also comes from choosing the right work and staying away from the wrong ones. Now his mind told him, do less, but do it right. By now, Ravi had learned a lot: discipline, planning, consistency. But there was still one problem. He wanted to do everything. Study, work on his YouTube channel, maintain friendships, and sign up for every new course. The result was that he did a little bit of everything, and by the end of the day, he was exhausted, thinking, what did I even accomplish? One day, a senior told him, Ravi, your stove has every burner turned on. Now think, which part do you want to cook first? That very day, Ravi made his burner list and adopted Warren Buffett's 5-25 rule. He wrote down 25 wishes, then, with a heavy heart, chose only 5 to focus on for the year. The remaining 20 he didn't even look at. Now, he didn't multitask. He put his full attention on just one task at a time. As his focus grew, so did his results. Ravi realized that success comes to those who don't try to do everything, but instead choose the right things and give them their all. Now he did less, but went deeper, and that's where his true flight began. Life was much better than before, but a new challenge appeared. He had a lot to do, yet didn't know where to start. Everything seemed important, and each day's planning felt like solving a puzzle. Then, in a video, he learned about the superstructure method with its 4 simple steps. That very evening, Ravi took a whiteboard and wrote, Step 1. What is my intention today? Step 2. Which task will take me closest to my real goal? Step 3. Which task will take the least energy and time? Step 4. Now schedule them in the right order. From the next day, Ravi's routine completely changed. He first did the most important and impactful task of the day. Now, instead of getting caught up in a crowd of random tasks every morning, he started his day with a clear plan. His productivity increased, and his stress went down. Ravi understood that it's not just hard work, but hard work done with the right strategy that is the real key to success. The superstructure method gave his planning a strong direction. Now, every day was a confident step toward his goal. Ravi had now become hardworking and smart, but sometimes his mind would still get tangled. It felt like hundreds of small tasks were swirling in his head: studying, video ideas, getting medicine for his mom, replying to a friend's message, and trying to remember it all at once would tire him out. Then he came across a technique called GTD, getting things done. He took out a diary and poured everything onto paper. Now, Ravi's mind felt lighter. He broke every task into small, actionable steps, like call the doctor, read the first 10 pages of notes, write the script for the video. Now, whenever he sat down to work, he didn't waste time thinking. He just opened the list and started a task. Ravi learned that when you remove the burden from your mind, you feel calmer and more focused. GTD taught him that productivity doesn't come from constant running around, but from having a clear system. Now Ravi thought less and did more, and that's where his real takeoff began. By now, Ravi had tried many different strategies, but still, sometimes he found himself caught in the web of distractions and laziness. One day he wondered, why do I keep repeating these bad habits? That's when he learned about Peter Hollins' character alarms method. He decided that whenever he engaged in any habit that blocked the path to his dreams, whether it was spending too much time on social media or postponing his studies, he would immediately give himself a warning, as if an alarm was going off inside him. Ravi set this alarm in his mind. Whenever he felt himself procrastinating, he would ask, is this the action that will move me forward? This instantly made him realize he needed to stop and make the right choice. Slowly, these small alarms began to change his habits. Ravi understood that recognizing and stopping your weaknesses is the real strength. This awareness made him more responsible and disciplined, and that was his true victory. Ravi had a big writing project to start, but every time he thought about how huge the task was and where to begin, he froze. This thought kept holding him back. Then he remembered a piece of advice from Peter Hollins. Break the work into smaller pieces. He thought, all right, today I'll just sit for 2 minutes and write 1 line. He sat down, and after that 1 line, the second came on its own. That small start gave him the courage to keep going. Ravi realized that breaking big tasks into smaller chunks reduced his procrastination. But when he needed deep thinking and creativity, he would work for long stretches without interruption. He learned that starting is the biggest challenge, and microscs make that challenge easier. A small step, taken consistently, that became his key to success. Ravi became so absorbed in his studies and work that sometimes he would sit for hours without a break. But often, he began to feel tired, distracted, and weak. One day, he read that our bodies work in waves of energy every 90 to 120 minutes, called ultradian rhythms. He thought, if I work in sync with this rhythm, I can perform better. Now, Ravi started taking a 15 to 20-minute break after every 90 minutes of work, walking, taking deep breaths, and giving his mind a rest. As he followed this rule, his fatigue reduced and his focus improved. He realized that when he worked, he gave it his full attention, and when he rested, he truly relaxed. This balance took his productivity to the next level. Ravi learned both work and rest are important, and if you give each the right time, your body and mind stay fresh and strong. So friends, this was Ravi's story, and the lessons he learned from Peter Hollins is think less, do more. If you too want to bring change into your life, think less, do more, and start taking small steps today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and share it, and subscribe to our channel for more such motivational content.